Greetings citizens of the world. A stunning new Security Council (SC) report circulating in the Kremlin today states that President Donald Trump made an urgent emergency request, yesterday, 14th of December, to speak with President Putin, and during whose conversation, Trump was left aghast, horrified, exact word? After being informed by Putin that a British Royal Navy and Armada de Chilean Navy, training misadventure in the southern Atlantic waters near the Falkland Islands had, indeed, sunk an Armada de la República Argentina Navy, submarine, and whose cover-up aftermath led to the Federal Security Service, FSB, arresting and charging with treason, English 1A, U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, spy, and whom Trump begged, invoked God Putin to spare the life of, but with Putin advising Trump, who didn't appear to know this fact, that Russia had already abolished the death penalty. According to this report, President Trump's stated reason for requesting this emergency telephonic conference with President Putin was due to a CNN article published yesterday claiming that two unidentified U.S. defense officials had told them that on Wednesday, 13th of December, two U.S. F-22 stealth fighters intercepted two Russian aircraft after they had crossed the Euphrates River in Syria, flying east of the deconfliction line that is supposed to separate Russian and U.S.-led coalition aircraft operating over Syria, and that during this encounter, these U.S. fighter jets had fired off warning flares. President Putin, in replying to President Trump's concerns about this matter, this report details, stated that nothing whatsoever had occurred in the skies over Syria between Russian and American air forces on Wednesday, 13th of December, and that what the CNN article had, in fact, done was bastardize, for obvious propaganda purposes, an incident in the Syrian skies first reported by the Ministry of Defense, MOD, on Saturday, 9th of December, and that MOD spokesman Major General Igor Konashenkov described as, an American F-22 fighter actively prevented the Russian pair of Su-25 attack aircraft from carrying out a combat mission to destroy the Daesh stronghold in the suburbs of the city of Mayadin in the airspace over the western bank of the Euphrates River on 23 November. The F-22 aircraft fired off heat flares and released brake shields with permanent maneuvering, imitating an air battle. President Putin further stated to President Trump, this report continues, that after the appearance of a Russian multifunctional supermaneuverable Su-35S fighter, the American F-22 fighter jet stopped its dangerous maneuvers and hurried to move back into Iraqi airspace, with General Konashenkov, also, having stated, the statements of the U.S. Army representatives that a part of the Syrian airspace belongs to the U.S. is puzzling. Syria is a sovereign state and a member of the United Nations, therefore, the United States does not own any part of sky. Being highly concerned that President Trump wasn't even aware of the most basic facts behind this CNN propaganda article, this report says, President Putin then became outright alarmed during this telephonic conference when Trump expressed no knowledge at all about the captured CIA spy Alexei Zitniuk, who was taken into custody and arrested by the FSB for treason, on 30th of November, after he was discovered attempting to access secret Russian naval documents and files related to the Northern Fleet's 5,320-ton special-purpose military vessel Yantar. As to why the CIA wanted information about the special-purpose military vessel Yantar, this report explains, is due to its being equipped with a Consul-class DSV, Project 1681X, deep submergent vehicle, and that, on 22nd of November, was dispatched by the MOD to find the remains of the Argentinian Navy's submarine San Juan, S-42 that had gone missing on 15th of November with 44 crew members aboard in the South Atlantic waters near the Falkland Islands, and whose last event recorded by the Argentinian Navy was an anomalous, singular, short, violent and non-nuclear event, consistent with an explosion. With family members of the crew of the doomed San Juan submarine reporting that their last communications were of it being chased by a British Royal Navy helicopter and Chilean Navy warship, this report continues, the MOD was able to confirm that the British Royal Navy and Armada de Chile were, indeed, conducting anti-submarine training maneuvers in the waters around the Falkland Islands, with the Yentrs Consul-class DSV deep submergence vehicle then discovering that the sunken San Juan submarine had damage consistent with ordnance, weapons, used by a Chilean Navy anti-submarine warfare C-295 aircraft. Upon the MOD notifying Chile's Ministry of National Defense, M&D, about the Yentrs findings as to the cause of the San Juan sinking, this report notes, the Chilean Navy began its own investigation, and that led them to, on 13th of December, dismissing by forced retirement 5 of its top general officers, English and who were Vice Admiral Kurt Harding, Rear Admiral Jorge Roger Guez, Rear Admiral David Hardy, Rear Admiral Hearn N. Miller and Rear Admiral L.T. Mario Monjo. Of the greatest fear expressed to President Trump by President Putin regarding the sinking of the San Juan, though, this report says, is that the CIA had secretly worked with the Chilean Navy and had provided to them an experimental AQS-24B mine-hunting system ordnance package, and that during the testing of, had mistakenly identified the Argentinian submarine as an electronic target instead of its being an actual vessel with live human beings aboard. In the concluding unclassified notes of this report detailing President Putin's conversation with President Trump, a number of Security Council member officials expressed horror, amazement as to how much information is being kept from Trump by his deep state-aligned intelligence agencies, especially the CIA, but that Putin stated Trump is about to regain full control of, and should be relatively easy to do, as these Obama-Clinton supporting anti-Trumpers appear to all be delusional, and as evidenced by the now disgraced FBI's top counterintelligence official, Peter Strzok, an expert in secure communications, making radioactive comments via cell phone with his FBI lawyer mistress Lisa Page that have all now gone public. And even more astoundingly, the wife of the equally disgraced top U.S. Justice Department official Bruce Orr, named Nellie Orr, obtaining a license to operate a shortwave radio when she hired onto Fusion GPS to create the fake news Russian dossier against Trump, with her believing that the National Security Agency, NSA, wouldn't be able to monitor her secret communications with other coup plotters, but that the NSA, and Russia, too, for decades, have recorded every broadcast of the world over in order to discover number stations used by other nations' intelligence agencies,